I can lie naked in the snow all day.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Hello there, folks, and I'm ShadowLink793.
I'm Arisato Luffy, 2442.
And we are going to be doing a reading of IGN's top 25 animated movies of all time.
Can't wait for this list.
Yeah, this is IGN after all.
I have nothing against the people at IGN. Just, I don't know, maybe their choices aren't always that great.
Okay, so...
Well, let's look into it.
Number 25. What the fuck?
Mask of the Phantasm.
I'll read this one. Number 25 is Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. Before Batman Begins, this animated theatrical release was The Dark Knight's best big screen story, and some fans can still make the argument that it's the best ever made. While we might not make that argument ourselves, we can understand why a few brave fanboys would. Bruce Wayne's past takes center stage as Batman must stop a new rogue on the block, Phantasm, from killing Gotham's local mob population. The crimes and the perpetrator are connected to Bruce's first and last shot at true love, a relationship he was willing to give up the cowl for meant he could be happy. So it's a comedy, clearly. Tragedy and Batman are meant to be together, and when you throw Mark Hamill's Joker into the mix, you have one of the most heartfelt and dramatically satisfying stories DC has ever told. The Phantasm is a great nemesis, and the reveal of who is behind the mask is both surprising and justified. The climax set at an abandoned Gotham World Fairground is truly epic and moreover, violent as hell. Thanks to Joker challenging Batman to the fight of his life, each character, good or bad, is connected by an event their past could not have avoided. The movie doesn't shy away from exploring the consequences of that event, especially the toll it takes on Bruce. With his films, Nolan nailed who the Dark Knight is, but Phantasm did it first. Okay, any thoughts?
Well, you're the big Batman fan.
This is too low.
What?
This is too low on the list.
Too low?
Yeah,
I never personally watched it, but from what I can see, I think it actually is a pretty pretty good film.
It's better than...
It deserves better than 25.
This was actually in theaters at the time that Batman Forever and Robin was in theaters, so it was definitely better than those movies, but nobody went and saw it.
Oh yeah, because they thought it was a kids movie. It's an animated film.
No, they don't understand Batman, the animated series then. But it was very dark and very adult. But I think this is criminally low on the list. It should be a lot higher. But that's just my that is just my opinion.
Well, we haven't seen what the other films are.
Okay, would you like to read number 24?
Well, here's my opinion. I don't think we should read all of it.
Okay, let's just read the name and then just...
Yeah, just put our thoughts of it.
Yeah, okay. 24?
Alright. Metropolis.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it either.
I'm reading the description here. It looks like one of Osamu Tezuka's manga series, which is a film. So, if you don't know who Osamu Tezuka is, he's basically a great animator in anime. He's basically the Walt Disney of animation.
Oh, nice.
Of Japanese anime, anyway.
But what's it actually about? It's Metropolis, so I'm guessing it's...
It looks like a city environment I'm seeing in this picture here. Yeah, it just looks like... Oh, it's a silent film. Oh. So maybe it's like Fantasia for Disney, for animes or something. I don't know.
Probably.
We don't have any thoughts of this because, well, obviously we never heard of it.
Yeah.
Number 23. Oh, speaking of Fantasia.
Fantasia 23. Yeah, I can see why they would put on the list, but for it to be low, yeah.
It's very significant to Disney.
Yeah, it's actually one of the best Disney films in my opinion.
Fuck Fantasia. Fuck Fantasia 2000. It did nothing. It's the original. Where is that?
Mainly just great animation, Disney animation with great classical music, and that's all you really need.
It also had the Sorcerer's Apprentice, Mickey Mouse doing the...
That was one of the biggest selling points.
And we had the Devil.
The Devil.
Or Chernobog, whatever his name.
I call him the Devil. It's cooler.
Whatever. He's the Devil.
Chernobog doesn't sound so cool.
So, any other thoughts on Fantasia before we...
Well, it's a long list, so I can say we keep moving on.
Okay. Number 22, Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell.
I never saw the movie. I've only seen parts of episodes of the animated series.
I've seen the episodes and parts of the movie, and it is a really good film. But I don't know. When I think animated, I don't really think... Yeah, this is the CG one.
This actually came before the series, you know.
Yeah. It was a great introduction to the show. I admit it was actually a pretty damn good movie, but I don't know if it deserves better than Mask of the Phantasm.
It doesn't, but I like IGN's little sentence here at the end of the paragraph. It also includes hot naked chicks, so take from it what you will.
Yeah, I think that influenced a little too much.
God damn it, IGN.
Yeah, hot naked chicks are fine. Fan service is fine, but I don't know if that's what really gets it up there. Yeah.
You're not going to give me viewers.
You're not going to gain much credibility if you do that.
Well, I like the from what I've seen of it, it's okay.
Yeah, it's a good show actually. I love it.
We can't say anything about the movie because I've never seen the movie. So moving on to number 22 or 21, I mean, is the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Okay, that definitely doesn't deserve to be that high, higher than Mask of Phantasm. It's a good movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Funny, heartwarming. Got a lot of great characters. Great story. Simple.
I've never seen it, so I have no opinion. Oh wait, George Clooney is voicing this character. This movie already doesn't deserve to be higher than Mask of Phantasm.
No, now wait a minute. George Clooney, while in some films was not that great, in this one it worked perfectly. Because you didn't have to look at his face. All you heard was his voice, and it matched with the character.
Well, even his voice sounds smug in everything he's in.
Well, yeah, but that's the character in this one. The character, he's a pompous, charismatic fox who thinks he's, cool and all that. And you know what? He actually does prove it through what he does in the movie.
Oh, I just can't get over George Clooney and anything that he's in.
Come on.
You ruined Batman for me, man. You ruined Batman for me.
Take it easy. But Fantastic Mr. Fox, yeah, it's a good film. It has some subtle messages about environment and industrialism and taking care of the animals. But at the same time, it has a confusing ending. Because they're talking about, the forest, or their life in the nature, all great and grand, and then the ending.
Open the door.
Huh?
You can open the door.
The ending is just, kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the ending would just seem so against that. They found solace in supermarket.
Okay. So, anything else to say before I move on to number 20?
No. It was a good film, but not better than Phantasm.
Okay. Number 20, My Neighbor Totoro, one of Miyazaki's works.
I never watched it.
I've heard of it, I've just never watched it.
I hear a lot of people loved it, and it was a great film, and let's face it, it's Miyazaki. It's fucking Miyazaki.
You know it's gonna be awesome, guys.
Yeah, great animation, great character, story may not make sense, but who cares about the story in a Miyazaki film?
It's Miyazaki, dude. None of this shit
You're just
really
there for the
sense.
fucking art.
You know you are.
For the passion.
Don't lie.
It's all about the passion, the emotion, and the characters, and that's all that Miyazaki film really needs.
Okay.
Never heard and watched it, but I'm pretty sure it's damn good.
Okay. Number 19, Sleeping Beauty. I'm pretty sure it's only up here for its significance.
Yeah, Sleeping Beauty characters never did it for me. I'm sorry, but Sleeping Beauty just seemed like the most.
Granted, it can be on the list because it's significant.
Yeah, but the characters seem so bland, except for Maleficent. Maleficent was just fantastic.
Well, Maleficent is one of the best Disney villains ever. So.
Hell yeah, Maleficent was amazing. If you want to watch this film, just watch it for Maleficent. But as far as the protagonists go,
he's bland. The main lead is bland. The female lead is bland. That's about it.
You don't really remember much except for Maleficent.
That's
all.
It's just your basic knight rescues the princess from castle scenario, guys.
From a witch and a dragon, but god damn, that Maleficent is just so amazing.
Okay, moving on to number 18, Ratatouille. I've never seen this.
I watched it and I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I liked the movie. The animation is actually fantastic. The human characters are actually very well drawn and well animated. The rats actually have a good story. There is a lot of side stories going on at the same time, so it can get distracting. But
it's a Pixar film. It's good. It's bound to be at least worth a watch.
The visuals, the characters, the animation, all of it was just fantastic, and I just love the ending. The critic, man, I just love that character.
Okay. We won't spoil anything for you guys, so.
Yeah, but the critic at the ending with his speech was just fantastic. I loved it. It really delved into the psyche of any critic. So.
Okay. Anyway, number 17 is Lion King. This just seems kind of low.
Yeah, Lion King was a big stepping stone for Disney into pretty much all their films. Everyone loved it. Everyone thought it was the greatest film of all.
It's Lion King, guys. Don't lie. You've all seen this movie at some point.
And whether you hate it, whether you say you hate it or love it, well, you just can't forget the film. Everything about it, you just remember.
The songs, everything, the
characters,
visuals.
The visuals. Is it a good story, though? It's a simple story.
It's simple.
The prodigal son returning and saving the land.
Yeah, it still holds up today.
Yeah, it still holds up. It's a simple story, despite all the different variations of, the anthropomorphic animals and everything. But it's a good story, like everyone, originally thought it was. And yeah, it still holds up even today.
Don't worry, guys. We'll give our opinion of what should be higher on this list after we read the entire list.
Next list.
Next person on this list is How to Train Your Dragon is number 16. I've never seen this movie.
I have, and I liked it. Again, well-drawn characters, transferred into good animation. The characters are actually very believable and very sympathetic. The dragons are actually really cute and threatening at the same time. I liked How to Train Your Dragon. The story was simple, it flowed nicely. And again, the best scenes are when they're flying on the dragons. The animation for that
Riders
was just, I don't know, I thought it was perfect. I felt like I was actually flying sometimes, like, whoa!
I've heard good things about the movie, that's about it.
Yeah. And in fact, the TV show was actually okay. Animation not as good, of course. And the characters are relatively still just as strong as the film. But the movie is definitely where you should start before you see the show. If you just see the show, it's not even gonna grab you instantly.
Okay, anyway, moving on to number 15, Finding Nemo. Okay.
I liked it.
Debatable. I'm debating its placing, but it's okay.
It has its minor flaws, but it's a pretty good, simple film. The father's trying to save his son.
I'm just debating its placing is all.
Yeah, I can see why you would think it should be. Well, it should be a little bit lower than 15, but I personally liked it. It was colorful, adventurous. The ocean is just beautiful. They portray it really well. It's a big, empty, mysterious place. Sometimes you don't know you're gonna run into. And the characters are actually all very memorable. And I like that there's not even a hint of romance despite being a Pixar Disney collaboration.
Which is rare for them, really.
Yeah, it's just a simple story of a father trying to find his son and reconcile with him.
Okay.
It's a good film. I like it.
Okay, anyway, moving on to number 14, Akira. I've heard very good things about this movie.
I've never even seen it or heard of it.
Well, it's just basically a movie that takes place in futuristic Tokyo.
Okay.
With like rival biker gangs and I'm reading the description here, by the way. It's one of the best movies ever to come out of Japan, apparently, and that's about all I can say about it because I have not seen the movie either. I've wanted to watch it.
I don't know from what they're describing here.
I think anyone who wants to be an animation major should at least see this movie.
Okay, well,
I've only seen clips.
Personally, when I hear of a film about motorcycles, I don't know. Is it just me, or do I just see a Fast and Furious movie with motorcycles?
I haven't seen Fast and Furious with motorcycles, but okay.
Trust me, it's not that great.
Okay.
But it's anime, so probably.
Number 13 is Toy Story 3.
I love this movie.
The first movie in years to make me feel anything.
Yeah, I actually cried at the end. That was amazing. You know, Toy Story 1 and 2 did have sad scenes, but hell, I didn't cry. And the third one, at the ending, shit, I cried.
He gave him away.
Hey, don't spoil it. Spoiler. But yeah, it's a great film, and I hear they're making a fourth, which I don't know.
I don't think they should. This was
a great ending.
This is good enough, guys.
Yeah, and I just enjoyed that the characters actually grew up with me. Andy's going to college the same time I was going to college.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit.
It was really more for us than it was for kids.
Yeah, it was a continuation. We actually grew up with the movie, so it made sense that the characters grew up with us.
We were proud 18-year-olds who walked into the movie theater and said, 2 tickets for Toy Story 3, please.
I enjoyed it. It was a great film. One of the best Pixar film has.
Very significant, yes.
Yeah, a lot of people remember it.
Number 12 is Spirited Away.
I remember this one. Oh my god.
I like this movie.
Dude, I cannot even count how many times people have shown me this movie. I mean, seriously, anime clubs, teachers even in class.
Our 6th grade teacher showed us this movie.
I mean, seriously, for teachers even to need to show their students this film, it must be great. And yeah, it is. Again, the story and kind of confusing at times and kind of weird, but the morals are there.
Again, it's Miyazaki.
I know, but still, the visuals, the characters, and the imagination, the creativity, just my God, everything just kept
Animation majors take note.
I mean, my God, every single second of this movie surprised me and shocked me at some point. And I'm like, Jesus, man. It is a great film, and it's definitely something you need to watch if you love Japan culture and animation.
Anyway, moving on to number 11, The Nightmare Before Christmas. I love this movie.
I like this movie. I definitely would watch it every Christmas if I had the chance.
Yep. It's the only movie that's significant on 2 different holidays.
Halloween and Christmas.
Yes.
And I like it just because it's just... Jack Skellington is just a likable character. I mean, he really doesn't really mean any harm. He just wants to spread joy. He wants to try something different. And it's like a midlife crisis kind of story, really. I think he's been doing the same thing.
He's tired of fear.
So many years, and he wants to try something more, I don't know, upbeat, something different, something that actually brings joy and smiles to people.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, even though I was a kid and didn't understand the whole midlife crisis thing. When I saw this, the visuals were creative. It was dark and happy at times. And I don't know, I cried a lot, of course, especially Jack Skellington being shot down. Jesus.
Yeah, it's a kid's movie, remember guys.
But it was a great film and I enjoyed it.
Okay, anyway, number 10, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Probably only up here for significance again.
Dude, just a classic. I think, if I remember correctly, one of the first Disney films ever. If not the first.
It was one of the first, actually.
And, yeah, I think it still holds up. It's a very classic story. You've never really seen much of anything that's similar. I mean, just Snow White gets hunted down by a jealous queen of her beauty, gets lost in the forest, moves in with 7, dwarves, and gets tricked by the witch to be poisoned, and then he gets saved by the prince.
I think Snow White, I think it suffers from the same problem that Sleeping Beauty had, that the Snow White and
No, actually think about it. Snow White is more memorable, because she's at least taking care of these 7 dwarves.
Yeah, but...
That's like taking care of 7 children, dude.
Okay, I at least find the prince pretty bland.
Yeah, the prince was bland, because he just came in, kissed her, and they walked away. But Snow White...
Happily ever after.
Snow White is like the housewife. She's working her ass off for these 7 dwarves, and you know what? She doesn't have to. She just has this nurturing side of her, and she naturally wants to take care of them and teach them right from wrong, and she does a pretty good job of that. The witch...
Generic.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we ever see her again after she poisons her.
Nope, you do.
She just disappears.
You do. She disappears in the ugly-ass form that...
The only time I actually remember her is how ugly she became as a witch, and the apple, and then her with the mirror. Those are the only scenes I think I remember.
You remember the mirror more than you do the queen.
Yeah. The only real line I remember of her is, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all." That's pretty much all I remember from her saying.
Okay.
But Snow White as a character was pretty interesting. 7 dwarves, all of them. And it's just an emotional film. There's no logic, no reason, but it doesn't have to be. Great film. I'd watch it again if I could.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. Anyway, number 9 is Toy Story 1. This deserves this spot.
I do think because it started the whole franchise, and as a pilot to the whole trilogy,
it's one of Pixar's best movies in general.
Yeah. Toy Story 3 really upped the ante from Toy Story 2, but Toy Story 1 just takes it. just something about the first is just so grand.
It's really good. We recommend you watch it. We command you.
Yeah, I don't know. In Toy Story 2 and 3, it just got me tired that Woody somehow just seemed like the goody two show. Always trying to make everyone happy. In Toy Story 1, we really saw a dark, jealous side of him, and that was interesting.
Hey man, it's cowboys versus space.
Yeah, there wasn't really a main villain except for, of course, the bully. Well, not really a bully, but yeah, you get Sid. You know, but it really was mostly Woody's inner demons that being replaced.
We've all felt jealousy at some point, guys. Don't lie.
And I think this film really taps into that.
Indeed.
It's
Indeed.
Definitely a great movie. I'd watch it again and again.
Yeah, this does deserve the spot. So anyway, moving to number 8 is The Little Mermaid.
No. I don't think it deserves to be this high.
Well, it was one of the first movies of the Disney Renaissance period.
I know.
It's significant.
It is a good film. I love it. You know, but to be this high, higher than Toy Story, higher than Mask of the Phantasm.
Granted, you could be on this list. It doesn't deserve.
Higher than some of the Miyazaki films, I don't think so.
It doesn't deserve to be higher than Batman.
You know, the prince has a little bit more character, I guess, than most princes, but still, he's still a bland character until we see him in the sequel. Ariel just seems like she's
Typical Disney princess who wants more out of life.
Well, not really, because those other Disney princesses, I don't know, they portray them as adult women already, right? Yeah. This one, she's actually still a teenager, and
I can't tell, but okay.
I think she's still a teenager, so of course she's gonna be selfish. So I can forgive them for that. What my favorite character of this whole movie, though, is of course the father of Ariel.
Neptune.
Neptune, yeah. He just seemed like a genuine father. I think he was the one learning a lesson about, you know, being a good father and letting your children make their mistakes. And just being there to support them when they fall or rise. Of course, Ariel was stupid for selling her soul just to have a man.
Was it her soul or was it just her voice? I haven't seen that movie in years.
It was both.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, her voice, but then her soul came. Actually, no, it was her soul too, because she was about to be turned into one of those little wormy things until her father, replaced her soul with his.
Wormy things.
So it was actually technically her soul she sold. But yeah, again, no, not Neptune, it's Trident.
Well, he looks like Neptune to me. Come on.
Yeah, I was thinking, wait, Neptune doesn't sound right. It's Trident, isn't it?
I don't know.
Whatever. But Ariel's
whatever.
father...
You get the point. He has a freaking...
Ariel's father is my favorite character of the movie. But to be number 8, no, I don't think it's that great a film.
Well, let's see number 7. Oh, it's Up.
I love this movie.
Another movie in years to make me feel anything.
And it makes me feel in the first 10 minutes. Good God, I cried in the first 10 minutes of this movie. For a movie to just show me...
We cried manly tears of manliness.
Yes, I remember you were in the corner trying to hide your face.
Yes.
But anyway, this movie was just so simple, colorful, and heartwarming just to watch from beginning to end. You know, the adventure was great, the comedy was great, but my God, the first 10 minutes was just so amazing. I mean, hell, it's just two kids who meet each other, have a sense of both have the sense of adventure, and then they grow up, get married, have a great life, and, you know, and it's just so sad that the one thing that started their relationship never fruition, their sense of adventure. They actually never went anywhere, but you know what? They were content.
We're looking for someone to share an adventure.
They had an adventure of life, of a good life with each other, and I think that's one of the greatest adventures. The fact that they actually got that.
It's one of Pixar's most emotional movies, to be sure.
I cried at the first 10 minutes. The fact that the wife died, it just... Oh, God.
Yeah, spoilers.
Dude, it's the first 10 minutes. Not much of a spoiler if everyone's going to watch in the first 10 minutes.
Still a spoiler, dude.
In fact, even in the trailers, you don't even see the wife. So people don't even think there is a wife there at all. It's just a grumpy old man.
Still spoilers, man.
Hell,
spoilers.
I thought it was just a grumpy old man who never found love. But when I first saw it, like, wait, he was married? What happened?
What is love?
But it was great characters, great animation, great visuals, great comedy, great adventure. I just loved it.
Okay. Anyway, number 6 is South Park. Bigger, longer, and
Does
cut.
that count as animated?
It's
Yeah, it is animated,
but
still.
I don't think it deserves to be this hot. It's probably only up here because it's really fucking funny.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, it's fucking funny. Hell, it's South Park. The show's still going and it's still funny as hell.
But higher than most of the stuff we've seen right on this list.
It's higher than most of the movies, but
Doesn't deserve to be higher than Batman.
Okay, calm down, Batman fan. But South Park is definitely an iconic show. Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it. Either hates it or loves it.
Well, I think this movie is just basically just a longer version of an episode. I don't think it really deserves to be higher than most. I think it could be on this list, but don't get me wrong. But
one thing I thought when I heard about this movie was I think South Park worked as a short episode every now and then, but to make it a movie, I thought they were gonna stretch it out too long, and just like the jokes gonna get dried up. But actually, I found it enjoyable through and through. But mainly because of the comedy. The story was as South Park as far as South Park goes. The story was well written. The comedy felt right, like it was placed right. And yeah, it's South Park. You're gonna get lots of crude humor and a lot of weird scenes.
I disagree with its placing. I think it should be a little lower, but that's just my opinion, guys.
South Park is a funny show. Yeah,
It's funny. It's funny as fuck, guys. Watch it.
Yeah, it's if you definitely want a good laugh and you definitely have this sense of humor that South Park has, then yeah, definitely it's a movie you want to watch.
Okay. Anyway, number 5, The Iron Giant. I love this movie.
I love this movie.
This movie was awesome.
I just enjoy
anyone who is an animation major should definitely look at this movie. I'm pretty sure they show it at art institutes anyway, but just in case.
Yeah, I think the big emphasis isn't the alien comes and learns about the planet. It's mainly the connection all the characters have with each other.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it's amazing that they're able to fit the Iron Giant in there. Actually, usually when they put an alien, they try to focus all on the alien. That doesn't work. Or sometimes they put all the focus on the families, and that doesn't work either. But they do a good job of connecting the alien with the entire family and everyone, together.
Yep, it's a giant robot.
And of course, you gotta love the Superman reference.
Do-do-do.
And my God, I cried again at this ending. Good God, I'm surprised that IGN has some tearjerker movies up here.
Guys, watch it. It's significant.
I loved it. Great animation, great characters, great development, great story, simple, strong. I just love this movie.
Okay, anyway, moving on to number 4, Toy Story 2. I love this fucking movie.
I loved it.
This movie is awesome. It's like one of the few movies where they introduce new characters that I'm not annoyed by.
Yeah,
I like Jesse. I like Bullseye.
I like the villains.
I loved Emperor Zurg.
That was hilarious, and the new Buzz Lightyear was just wow.
I am your father. No.
That was hilarious, and then how they're playing ball like father and son. Like, well, that was quick. You got over that. Okay.
Indeed.
I mean, it was just hilarious.
And it brought up a topic that would lead into Toy Story 3. Yeah, Andy's gonna get older eventually.
Yeah,
and it happens to all of us. We're all kids with our toys, and then eventually we grow up and start playing less with our toys and more getting on with life.
I find it weird that even at the ending when they mentioned that, I never actually thought of a Toy Story 3 where you're going to college. That surprised me, and they still surprised me with the whole college thing. They followed up on what they said, but years later when we're all going to college, so yeah, that was a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I think this placing is relatively nice for Toy Story 2.
Yeah, I love the characters. Even the backstories of some of these characters are good.
Yeah.
And the comedy was great.
Use your head.
I agree.
But I don't want to use my head.
I agree with it being better than Toy Story 1, possibly being a bit better than Toy Story 3 on some parts. I think
the difference between the three is just your personal opinion.
Yeah, I think what I think of Toy Story 2 is it has much deeper character development.
Yes, it really did.
You actually sympathize more with all the characters a lot more in this movie than you did in the third one.
And the first.
You know, I think what made me cry in the third one was mainly the separation that stuff. But in Toy Story 2, it was the backstories, the how they came to be who they are. I mean, and what is going through their heads.
Yeah, it's a good movie, guys.
I loved it. Yeah.
And anyway,
It deserves to be this high.
number 3, The Incredibles. I love this fucking movie. This movie is awesome.
I think it's a good movie, but to be number 3, I don't know.
I think it's significant.
Oh no, it definitely.
It captures the silver age of comics relatively well. You know, when,
It is definitely a great film.
when you know everyone, when like superheroes were just taking off in there in the 50s.
Yeah, I mean the fact that they have a superhero family, that was new.
It's very heavy Fantastic Four vibes.
And the drawn animation was just fantastic. The story was great. The characters were great. And I just love all the action scenes, the family scenes. You know,
It was actually one of the first Pixar movies to depict people.
yeah, and you can actually feel they're a family. They're just not the generic superheroes. They actually treat each other like a family would. You
Yeah.
know, they fight, they argue, they hide secrets, but in the end, they're a family. They're there for each other. But it's a great film. I love it. But to be number 3, I'm not entirely sure.
Well, we'll see what we have for number 2 and 1.
All right, number 2.
Number 2 is Wall-E.
Oh hell yes.
I never seen this movie, so you're gonna have to say everything here.
Okay, Wall-E was a great film. I loved it, but I can agree with some people who's claimed the second half of the movie was just not as strong. And I can see why. The first half was just great. It was silence. It was just watching the robots interact with each other, the world around them, and it was interesting to have a subtle message of, well, in the first half, a subtle message of pollution and how that we should, you know, control ourselves when it comes to that, you know, and it was a great first half. Second half, when it came, it was okay. I can watch it and not be like thinking, ah, shit, the movie's ruined. But it wasn't as strong as the first half. The second half, we just had the human characters, and it was interesting to see their life, but their society just didn't seem that grand and epic as you would think of the futuristic society in space would be. I mean, sure, they were parodying like our humanity by we're depending too much on not moving, not exercising, too much fast food, always going for the latest trend. And I don't know, the second half just didn't do it for me. You know, it was okay, but the first half was definitely a must watch.
So you think it's too high on this list, or?
Oh hell no! I mean, the first half was brilliant enough, and the second half was decent enough that it didn't bring it down. And number 2 is actually a pretty good placing.
Do you think it deserves to be higher?
I would personally place that at number 3, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
okay.
Number 3. But that's just me.
Anything else to say before I move on to number 1?
Nope. Let's go back to number 1.
Okay, for number 1 here, IGN has a video, so we're just gonna see what it is and whatever the fuck it is. Okay.
And it's loading.
Load.
What is the number 1 video of IGN?
Well, we're only gonna watch the first fucking 5 minutes of this. Fuck it, I'm just gonna skip to see what. Damn it, IGN. We're gonna mute this.
Sorry about that, folks, but yeah.
We're gonna mute this.
So the number 1 film
IGN's
is...
number 1 animated movie of all time is...
What is it, people?
What? Okay, we get it.
Okay, IGN, stop showing us clips of it.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can believe it. I can go for that.
It's a classic story, guys.
I know the characters. I know the songs. I know the animation. I know goddamn it, I know everything about the movie. I remember everything. Every aspect of the movie I actually remember, and that's amazing.
It's really it's pretty significant.
As great as all these movies, some of these movies I said were, I admit there are some scenes I can't remember, but Beauty and the Beast, I remember every single scene.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, even the father who barely shows himself, I remember, and his purpose in the movie. He made an invention. He got lost. The Beast found him, locked him up, so Beauty can find him and then replace him later as a prisoner.
Yeah, I can see that. I also have a lot of memories with Beauty and the Beast.
And the fact that this was one of the only times that an animated film actually almost got nominated for an Oscar, that is amazing.
Not that Oscars mean anything these days, mind you.
Yeah, but back then it did.
Back then it did.
Back then it did. When it first came out, Oscar was still the big deal. It made a point that this is the greatest movie, and the fact that it was nominated for an animated film of all things was just amazing.
Be honest, guys. I've known at least a couple of you have seen this movie, if not all of you. Be honest.
I can see why this is number one. I would definitely agree with that one. Without argue.
Okay, I can see how it could be number one too. If this were my list, I'd put Batman a lot higher on this list.
I would put Batman at probably. Okay, Batman fan, calm down. I would put it at number 7.
7 is fine.
I would put Batman Mask of the Phantom at number 7. It was dark, gritty, it had such great psychological messages, action, and come on, people, Mark Hamill is the Joker. Who doesn't love Mark Hamill as the Joker?
If not, then I will kill all of you.
Calm down. You can't kill the viewers.
I know where you all live.
No, he doesn't. But yeah, Beauty and the Beast, I agree, that one is a great film, and I actually personally put it as number 1 for this list. From what I see. And it's not my favorite film, but as far as the IGN list goes, I agree with it being number 1. Wall-E would be number 3. And
that's pretty much most what I would change, is just put a couple of these a bit higher and put some of these lower.
Yeah, Miyazaki film definitely deserves more praise.
Higher. And I think Mononoke should have been on this list.
Oh yeah, Mononoke was good. It was an okay film. I liked it. I watched it and just didn't really anything bad about it.
Are there any animated movies you would want to see on this list that we haven't seen? I actually didn't see Aladdin anywhere on this list.
No. Aladdin was okay film, but to be top 25, I wouldn't. And I love Aladdin, but I wouldn't consider it an all-time great movie.
Okay, well, I guess with that said, guys, this was our reading of top 25 IGN animated movies of all time. Let us know in the comments what you think should have been on this list. Do you agree with us? Do you not agree with us? And we'll see you next time. Later. Bye.